Hello friends, Louie here. I'm here to give you an update about our ministry, our family, and what's going on. Thank you so much for your support and prayer over us. I say that every update, but we can't stop saying it. We literally cannot do this ministry, being able to train leaders to share their faith and reach kids with the gospel, without your support and prayer. So I never want to stop saying thank you and expressing that. So thank you so much. In the last 6 weeks or so, things have been pretty busy with trying to get summer things ready for our ministry. One piece is what we call the Backyard Sports Club. That's an online sports camp that churches can opt to use to have church-supported, parent-led sports camp at home. And what that looks like is all the video content we have and produce, and then put together in a nice package so that any church anywhere can promote that to their kids and families, and then the families can do it at home. Now that's if some churches are still on the side of not having any in-person things at this point. We started that last year in 2020, since all of our camps were canceled. All of our sports camps and mission teams and trips and everything was canceled. So we started Backyard Sports Club because we saw the need, and we wanted to help meet that need. Not just provide another resource, but make it intentional, and having it be supported by the church, led by the parents, at-home discipleship. We saw many churches grab hold of that, put that into play for their summer ministry, and it was a great success. So we thought, why not do it again? So we're doing it. We're almost in the finished process of the editing of the videos, and then making that into a final product. And hopefully within May, we'll be able to have that up and accessible for churches around the country to be able to use. So I play a big part in that, in enabling some of our volunteers to be able to record this content, and then also putting it together and then making it available for churches. As well as, in addition to Backyard Sports Club, we are getting ready for an almost full summer. Leading up through the fall and into the winter, we were kind of iffy, what is it going to look like? Our church is going to be ready to offer something in person. Are we going to be ready to offer something in person for what we're called to do, using sports as a tool to share the gospel and train leaders? So when January hit, that was about, I don't know if it was like some churches were ready to, okay, now we're past Christmas and we're ready to look forward to a summer program, a summer outreach event, or what it was. I don't know. But around January is when churches started signing up for sports camp, and that was a huge blessing to see that response. We're almost full for our full team sports camps, and what I mean by that is the full team sports camps is about 4 or 5 coaches, college students that we recruit throughout the year, that we send to the church to run sports camp with the church. They lead the upfront stuff in the sports, and the church leaders and volunteers lead small groups of kids. They're very intentional with the time that they have with them. And so that team, that full team, ideally will do a morning sports camp at one church, and then in the same area within an hour we'll do an evening sports camp with another church. So out of a 7-week summer, we could have up to 14 sports camps for one team. So we're almost full for that. Also this summer, this is maybe the second or third summer that we've done this. We call it a 2-person team camp, and what that is outside of the Northwest, the Pacific Northwest. Maybe a church wants to do sports camp, but we can't, logistically or financially be able to send them a team, but we can send 2 people that have coached with our ministry before. They know sports camp, they love Jesus, they can do this. They've already been trained in the past, and we just need to give them a refresher course. And so we've got a handful of those that have signed up in various states in the Midwest, East Coast, down to Texas. So that has been super encouraging to see those signups as well. Would you continue to pray for the leaders that we need in order to make this summer a success? We still need about 2 more coaches for the summer, 1 to coach cheerleading and 1 to coach soccer. And we have, it seems like I've been doing this for 15 years, and every year there's always a shortage going into the summer, and God always provides, but it makes me, it's a nail biter. So would you help in that? Would you pray that the people that are supposed to be serving with us would come through, would apply, would contact us, and also my diligence in being able to reach out to people asking for word of mouth and recruiting college students that want to serve Jesus this summer. One of the setbacks has been a lot of the college campuses that I normally go to are not allowing visitors, or not allowing ministries or nonprofits to set up a table in the hallways of their academic buildings or something to recruit. So that's been very hard. In the last year, I've probably done 8 or more online camp fairs or nonprofit or ministry fairs, and they haven't gone very well, to be honest. So I've been trying to rely more on the word of mouth, and that has been a stronger draw than the in-person recruiting. I'm on campus and nobody knows me, and they just maybe see one of the banners or they see the candy that I put on the table. But if you could pray and spread the word that we're looking for a college student who loves Jesus, who has experience in cheer and can work with kids. And then the other one would be the same thing, but has experience in soccer. That would be amazing. And then as we also go into the summer, there's kind of the elephant in the room of how are we going to be able to successfully or do sports camp and call it a success, while at the same time trying to fit into the guidelines of the various communities that we're going into because of COVID still being around. And so it is, if you could pray for me and my team as we continue to pull and navigate and look in and research and hear from our church partners about, how are we going to be able to do this well? What is our policy? So that's been an ongoing conversation for us since January, so about 4 months. And it's been on my mind and my heart because everything that our ministry does, one of our core values is excellence. And so everything we do, we want to do it with excellence. What does that look like running an in-person sports camp? It seems so weird to tag something in person when obviously before I would just say sports camp and you would know in person, but how do we do that well? So if you could pray for me and my team in how we do that. Our family is growing like wildfire. It's pretty crazy. Sadie, our oldest, is now, from our past update, she's in 3rd grade right now. She's 8 years old. She's about to turn 9 in June. She loves reading. Oh my goodness. Any book we give her, she'll finish it in a day, in a sitting, if we let her. So she loves that. She's super intentional with her friends, so kind. She's a leader right now. Continue to pray for Sadie. And Griffin, he's 6. He's about to finish kindergarten. He is rocking that his reading skills, his numbers. And my favorite part, both Sadie and Griffin have Spanish once a week. And so every Tuesday, I ask Griffin, ¿Cómo fue español? And then every Thursday, I ask Sadie, ¿Cómo fue español? And that means how was Spanish? And they tell me the word that they learned. And then our youngest, Penny, she just turned 2 in March, and Penny has a sense of humor. Her laugh is contagious. She will check on you if you look sad. If you have an owie, she will give you a big hug and say, kiss a owie, kiss a owie. She loves so well. She's ornery too, because she's 2. But our kids, me and Katrina, we talk about constantly just how much of a blessing they are, and to be able to do ministry and have them grow up in ministry is such a blessing too. The last update that I sent out, I mentioned in there how we were really below in our financial support, and there was a number of you that gave extra in February and March, and you gave a ginormous special gifts, and mentioned that you were praying for us. In a recent meeting with my leadership, I was told that we were kind of better off than I thought. I mentioned that I think we were down in our support about $1,300 a month, which is a big chunk. And what I was told by our leadership was that we were down about $585 a month. So that was just a couple weeks ago. So some of you that gave extra or gave more, committed to monthly since then, that's helped out. And so we are at that 585 range right now. And what we were told is that we need to make it a goal that by September, at least 400 monthly has been coming in. So what does that mean? You know, some of you, if you're able to increase by $5 or $10 and chip away at that 400 mark, if you're not able to, if you haven't been giving, but you're able to now, jump on board for any amount. Some are able to do hundreds a month. Some are able to do $5 a month or $20 every other week or something. We have it on our site available to change the frequency of it, monthly or quarterly or bi-weekly or whatever. No matter the amount, what I'm asking is would you just partner with us in whatever amount God speaks to you about. Also, lastly, our ministry is changing its name. Many of you know the ministry by Base Sports. Base Sports is not going away, but Base Sports is the sports ministry arm of Youth Missions International. Youth Missions International has been around since 2007, so 14 years. And over the last year plus, it's been an ongoing conversation of whenever people hear Youth Missions International, they think it's only targeted to youth missions. So obviously it's international, it's outside of the U.S., and then international, it is outside of the U.S. And so we do so much more than those 3 things. And so what we've decided to do is our main organization name will change from Youth Missions International to Base Ministry. And so there are 2 arms of Base Ministry: Base Sports, which which I direct, and then the other arm is Base Missions. And my good friend Joe, he leads that up. He's the director of Base Missions, and what that is we train and equip church leadership and youth groups how to share their faith, and then we're able to set up an authentic ministry experience for them to continue to practice that. What we go about that through trainings, running weekend trainings with groups, and going through different things like cultural experiences and servant leadership, and even a session called "You Are a Christian Leader." And through a lot of those things, there's a big realization through most everyone that goes through these trainings, is that they are more equipped than they know. They have more resources than they're aware of to be able to share their faith. And both through base sports and base missions, base ministry is about training leaders to share their faith, not just on a mission trip, not just at an outreach event like sports camp, but sharing your faith is a full-time thing. It is a command. When Jesus said, "Go into all the world," it wasn't just go into the world when you feel like it. You know, I go out into the world every day by going to the grocery store and walking down the street, taking my kids to school. And what am I doing to share the gospel, share the good news? When I'm doing these everyday things, I'm going into the world. So our big thing is training leaders. So we are in that process of changing the ministry name to Base Ministry. Thank you so much for your prayer over me, Katrina, and our kids. It's so helpful to know that you're praying, that you that are giving, it's from an amazing heart. And we love you so much. If there's anything you ever need, please feel free to reach out to us. We aim to be in contact frequently with you, so that you know what God's doing in ministry and how your prayer and support is moving and working. Thank you so much for all that you do. I pray that your visit to the grocery store, that your walk down the street, that your dropping off of your kids at school is not just a daily activity, but rather an opportunity to share the good news by what you say and do. Thanks so much. God bless.